Is a bike build? So, in my opinion, it's a creation of your reality. So, what you think's correct. So, some people are like, "Why do you wear jeans?" Well, I was made fun of for wearing jeans to a dirt bike race, and I kind of liked it. So, I like a challenge. So, we'll start back with this 2002. It was one of the first bikes I built that I documented. I've probably built 400, 500 bikes now for me or other people. And we've parted out 5,000. And that's really how we learned about all these upgrades. You see what people do to bikes, you try them, and you see how they feel with, 1 hour or 500 hours on them, and see what breaks, what wears out, and what needs to be improved. And what's nice is a lot of brands can't do what they want to do. A good example is look at all the bikes now. They're all running Brembo brakes with KYB suspension. So all the bikes that have a clean slate, that's what they're doing. And that's what we've been doing for a long time. So here's a O2, because we like the steel chassis. Everyone's like, oh, aluminum frame's lighter. Well, this is actually same weight as this aluminum frame. It's actually 0.2 pounds less once you shave off all the unnecessary needed products of a older frame. So we put 17 YZ450 complete front end, axles, rotors, brakes, swing arm, linkage, newer pegs from the newer Yamahas, newer kickstart lever, newer brake pedal. Let's see what else we did. We did Brembo brakes. So this was a old build, but I really like these. It's a really fun engine. It's totally different than the new KTM linear power, but this has just got like a hard hit. It's really fun. It just feels like an old school two-stroke. So I'm just going to go through all the bikes we've built and try to explain what we've done, because what I've seen is the people that put the flashy wheels and bright graphics, those are the ones that get blown up online. But in reality, you put rims on a car, you're only showing. It's not really going to change much of performance. So we're showing what's underneath the bonnet. Yes, this is more flash, but there's KYB forks on this FE501. This thing had like 65 horsepower. We replaced all with Brembo brakes. It comes with some cheaper brakes that it came with. We did some Excel wheels. But yeah, we still rode this thing, Glen Helen off-road, but we put a whole 450 top end so it could rev to almost 12,000 instead of the stock 9,000. Let's see. Here's the YZ125 06 we did. This is before the 22 really came out, so we ran some 250 graphics because that was all that was available plastics-wise. And we did the same thing we did with that O2. All the suspension brakes, everything. That was a fun build. Here's another one that was I was hoping would be better, but we bought a brand new 450 RL and did all the RWE parts we could. Dual pipes and A-kit forks and pretty much everything we could. It still was 60 pounds heavier than the Husqvarna, and it was a lot slower. So I think it's a cool bike if you can get them for around $7,000. I think it's just a great all-around motorcycle for the price, because people are selling them cheap. They don't really have any performance. I don't know why. Honda doesn't offer like a flagship works edition street legal bike, but I think once they see companies like ours and Stark and all these other companies, Ducati will offer that, maybe they'll try again. But was really hoping more with these Hondas. But yeah, this thing it looks cool. That's about all I can say about it. Yeah, see the Husky, we use it everywhere. Once you put wheels and the KYB forks on this thing, it's really the best bike out for gasoline purposes. Oh, this Cowie was sick too. We found a super fresh Cowie. These are getting hard to find, these 05 to 07s. We had a customer that just could not find swing arms for it, and I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to put a newer swing arm on it. So we put a KX450 17 swing arm on, hold the brakes, everything, just to, update it. And then we also did a 18 millimeter, 50 mil thickness bladder, or body, I should say, A-kit style shock upgrade. So quite a different bike with all that done. I haven't really seen this done before. Still haven't seen it done. And then we did single function forks, which a lot of people do, 2 pounds lighter than the standard KYBs. So the single functions are really cool. I'm not sure why they haven't pushed them harder, but I thought they were really cool. You can adjust your ride height just like your rear. You can adjust your front spring tension and kind of do like a sag setting in the front. And they're lighter, so I've always liked those forks. And then we did Brembo brakes on this, like always. Just a Husky we did, wheels, KYBs, just a little dune jumper. That was a fun bike. This is that KX250. Just having some fun on it. That's that YZ125 all completed out in the Oregon sand dunes. Really cool place to check out. 60 miles of dunes right on the ocean. Really cool. You can take your cars out there and have a good time. It was a quick KX450 17 at Air Forks. We did the Brembo brakes and some KYB SSS forks. Just our outer fork wrap. It's just a heat shrink, but it's really cool how it just protects the forks. It's super cheap to give it that trick look and actually keeps your outer tubes looking fresh because those things just get roosted so hard. So getting coatings on those outer tubes are kind of redundant because you just got to get it done all the time. So this is something you can just replace easy, and I like that idea over the $800 to spend on something that's just going to get damaged. Oh, this was a cool one too, DR650. It's, no matter what we do, it's kind of a fugly bike, but you put a big booty on it. It obviously helps somewhat, but we did a lot of stuff to that bike. We did WP suspension complete. We did upgraded rear master, or just a more progressive feel. You can see it's all integrated. We did WP rear shock. We did a FCR 42 mil carb. We lightened it like 20 pounds, put some new rear brake light system, front ball design system. That was a cool bike. For the money and reliability, pick this thing up for $2,500 with like 1,200 miles on it. I mean, you really can't beat these things. So I'm a huge fan of those. DRZ400, we built a ton of those. I think we've sold like 4,000 of those carburetors. So we just built a complete one. We did just the newest Showa forks we could, DLC coating, A60 rims we build, ball designs light, the tail lights we sell. But just a cool all-around reliable bike again. Really fun once you build these things. This is like a YZ450 06, puts a newer swing arm on. Newer Nissan stepped caliper, which that 2730, kind of like the F1 style, the ones they use the Works billet ones with. Really cool bike. It's more like a 350, super reliable. I know a guy, Larry Gross. He's put like 750 hours on this thing. Expert level rider at Glen Helen. Just he's a smooth, smart rider, but I mean to put that type of mileage on a motocross engine just shows you why Yamaha's really got it together. Their older engines, like I would say 17 and below 450s and 250s, they are just workhorses. Those things will last forever as long as obviously the rider is somewhat knowledgeable of how to keep a bike fresh. Obviously air filters, oil changes, whatnot. DRZ400 build. YZ250. All right, I guess that's it on the builds there. So what am I getting at is the Stark. What can I get out of that? There we go. Nope. I'm not gonna make this easy on me. Okay, it's all good. So we just got a Stark in. We're gonna do a full build series on it. I'm really excited. So I'm not sure what direction we're going to go in it yet. I definitely am going to make it street legal so I can wheelie with the local kids, try to get away with I want to see how the cops, mess with me when I'm on a, mountain bike. That's street legal. I want to see what they say. It's, can I get away with more wheelies with this and that? So I'm going to turn it into a wheelie machine and put the 4-piston Brembos in the front, the radial style, big old brakes on it, Supermoto correct forks, build some crazy wheels, titanium spokes, titanium lower fork tubes, titanium chain, titanium rear spring. My goal is to take off 20 to 30 pounds, which is really not that hard. We can do a couple things and take off 10 pounds real quick. So we're going to do a lot of the forged carbon wherever we can and really start to push the limits on what's easily, producible for all bikes in general. So anything that can be made for all bikes, we're going to make, because if we can mass produce stuff, for the majority of motorcycles, then I think, the manufacturers will follow, and bikes will just progress into lighter bikes and just make things better. So that's really the plan, is just seeing how far we can push it and using this as a development bike. We already know this thing can whip and jump and it's going to win supercross races, but I want to see it on the street legal side. I don't think anyone's really pushing that. So we're going to just make a street legal Stark that's super fun to wheelie and, do stoppies and jump downstairs and, see how fast this thing goes. And that's really the purpose with it, is just turn it into a street assassin. And then got to find a place to charge it. But other than that, it should be a fun bike. I think they'll come out with better batteries, real soon, where this thing will be more usable. But I think that's the only thing with this bike that I've noticed is, people are getting like 30 minutes in the sand dunes pushing it, or 40 minutes on a motocross track when they're pro level. So, which isn't bad. That's about normal when you're, at that level with the gas. But just swapping out the battery, I think, is going to be their biggest thing once they get a battery swap, where you can just, bolt in a new battery in a minute or two. I think that's going to be the generation 2, which yeah, I don't, I think that's pretty reasonable. People are giving it such a hard time, but it's their first generation. I mean, you look at the first generation of my logo, it wasn't very good, and it still isn't very good, but hey, we're getting there and we're having fun. So stay tuned, and we're going to have some better content, hopefully. I think I'm going to do it this style, where it's long format, like a phone version, just because that's what most people are using nowadays, and it's just hard to film, both ways, vertical, landscape. So I think we're just going to do vertical, but if people think landscape's better, let me know, and we'll do it that way. Thanks for tuning in.